Hello again, everyone. This is Gary, Kilo 4 Golf Charlie, here in the shack by the track with another video covering some aspect of amateur radio. I've been active in the hobby to varying degrees, sometimes not at all, since first becoming licensed in 2004. I learned something new about amateur radio in general, and in particular about my radios and the related software I use to operate them nearly every day. The purpose of my videos is to share some of that knowledge. And I'm learning how to edit videos too. Hopefully that skill will improve over time. As always, I'm not necessarily showing you how something should be done. I'm showing you how I did it, why I did it, and what works for me. Or perhaps what did not work for me. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to show some of the filtering and sorting functionality that's available within DXKeeper. This is the logging software that I use once I figured out how to do the sorting and filtering within DXKeeper and within Spot Collector. I was hooked. I can't speak for any of the other logging programs because I don't use them. Once I figured out how to make this one do what I wanted it to do, I've been using it ever since, and I never looked back. So anyway, the basic filtering mechanisms are call sign filtering, DXCC prefix or call sign prefix and DXCC entity filtering, date and time filtering, another date and time filter for QSOs that have occurred since a particular date and time, QSOs that have been selected or pre-selected for some operation that you want to do, logbook of the world related filtering, namely QSOs that have not been confirmed by Logbook of the World, and one for broken QSOs where there's usually something wrong with some field that you have entered. So we'll start with the call sign filter. We'll do type in a call sign WO4L and look that one up by call sign, and it will display all of the previous QSOs I've had with WO4L. This call sign filter is also available through the capture window. Let's say I was working or wanting to work Roberto in Italy, I2VRN. I can either hit the lookup button or hit the tab key from the call sign window, and it will, in the capture window, it'll pre-populate most of the information, but it also will add the call sign to the filter text box in DXKeeper and show those previous QSOs that I've had with that particular call sign. I'm not going to log this QSO, so I'll clear that and close the capture window out of the way, and we'll try the DXCC filter. Let's do I2VRN again, and using the DXCC filter, it will show me all the QSOs that I've had with Italy, regardless of the call sign prefix. It'll filter on anything from DXCC entity equals I or DXCC prefix equals I. Notice there's a difference here between the call sign prefix and the DXCC prefix. A country, as far as I know, has only one DXCC prefix, but it may have many call sign prefixes. Another example would be OR 18 HCC. We'll look at that one. Those are all the QSOs I've had with the DXCC entity for Belgium, prefix Oscar November. You can get the same results by just filtering on OR. But if you control click on the DXCC button, it implements a secondary search that matches only the DXCC prefix, and there is no DXCC prefix OR that I know of. Belgium is Oscar November through Oscar Tango prefixes, I believe, but its DXCC prefix is ON Oscar November only. We'll clear this filter and look at we'll move on to the date filter. And if you hover over these filter buttons, it will give you an explanation of what it does when you click it versus what it does when you control click it. Sometimes I have to read it 3 or 4 times to figure out actually exactly what it's going to do. Okay, let's try a date filter now. Let's say 2019 12/24. Click the date button. Those are the QSOs I made on December the 24th. Between midnight December the 24th and midnight December the 25th, Zulu time. Okay, well, let's try the different filter, the Since, SINCE filter, which will display QSOs that have occurred since a particular date. Again, we'll try 2019 12/24. That'll display the QSOs I've made since Christmas Eve, on or after Christmas Eve. You can add a time to this particular filter. Let's say 03/20. This should exclude these first two because those QSOs occurred after. No, they occurred before 3:20 a.m. Zulu time on December the 24th. Now let's take a look at the select filter. And I have a record here pre-selected for no particular reason other than to show it to you. It is available through the auxiliary panel within the main logger window. You set the select entry to yes to have that record selected, and then you go through and select all the other records that you want to select or pre-select for some batch change that you want to do. Maybe you want to delete all the comments or change the name. Maybe it's multiple QSOs with the same call sign and you have different names in each of them and you want to set them all to have the same name. You can also have DXKeeper pre-select imported QSOs, and that's done through this box here on the Import QSOs tab. Perhaps you are working a contest and you're going to import all the records from that contest or from a special event or something else of that nature, and you want to add the same comment to all those records or change the name in all those records or something of that nature. That's what the select button is for. Now, if you do that, the first thing you'll want to do is hit the select button and make sure that you don't have any records pre-selected from something else for some other reason, because you may not want to change that. You may not want to change that particular QSO. So hit the select button, make sure you don't have anything pre-selected. If you do, then you can control click the select button and it will set select to no, in all the records that are currently being displayed in the log page display. And if you hit select again, now nothing is pre-selected. Now you're free to import and select records as necessary. Now we'll take a look at the log of the world filter, which basically shows any log of the world entries, QSOs, I guess, that are unconfirmed. And I have several here. This is for my old call sign that I had several years ago, and I'm not sure why they're still unconfirmed. I've tried a few times to re-upload them and get them confirmed, and I'm not having any luck with it. So I'm going to have to work on that some more. The broken filter will display those QSOs that usually have something wrong with them, such as the county flashing in this case. This is possibly a bad county or a non-existent county within Oregon in this example. And again, I guess I need to go through all of these QSOs and see what's broken and try to get them fixed. The next set of filters are the user-defined SQL filters. I have most of mine defined to be related to QSLs. It'll filter the QSOs depending on whether or not I have sent or received a QSL card or an EQSL or a logbook of the world confirmation. Or here's one I called MIA, where I have not received anything, QSL card, EQSL, or logbook of the world. And that's what most of my filters are. They're related to QSLs or the lack thereof. I got a couple of more here. I've got a net filter defined where I can say type omiss in the text box and hit net, and it'll show me. I'll have to scroll over here and find the net name. It'll display all those QSOs where I was working the omiss net. Or I can do omiss 20 and it'll show me the omiss 20 meter contacts. Or I can type late, LATE, and it'll show me QSOs that I'd made on one of the late nets. Likewise, with the contest filter, you can put in the contest name or partial contest name, say RIDI, and hit my contest filter button, and it'll show me QSOs related to some RIDI contest that I was in. I've also got a mode filter defined. It's available elsewhere in the application. I'll show you that too, but I've got a kind of a quick and easy mode and band filter defined where I can put in, say, RIDI again and look for my RIDI contacts, or I can put in PSK and it'll look for any PSK type contact, mostly PSK 31 in my case, or Olivia, and I believe OLI is good enough to match that. It'll show my Olivia contacts, my Olivia contact, one of them. Likewise, with the band filter, I can filter on, say, 10 meters. It'll show me my 10 meter contacts in the 10 meter band. Only 18 of them, actually. I don't work 10 meters very often. Or 17 meters. A few of those. Or 15, let's say 15 meters. You get the idea. Not very many 15 meter contacts either. Actually, I can't do 15 meters. My antenna now won't tune on 15, so I'm not going to have many of them in the near future. I will show you, here's the various ways you can sort through the call sign or QSO database. You can sort by the UTC date and time, QSO start time. You can sort by call sign. You can do some user-defined sorts, which are available in the Advanced tab here. In this case, the selected one is sorting by band and mode. So it'll sort by band first, and then it'll do a secondary sort depending on the mode that you were in. Here's a little different one that will sort. Let me find that window back here again. This one sorts by DXCC prefix first, and let me scroll that over to the right a little bit where you can see that. Get this window back. It'll sort by DXCC prefix first and then call sign secondary. I'm going to go back and resort by time. Here's the other band and mode filters that are available. You can pick any or all of the bands and do a filter, say 40 meters or 40 and 17. You can pick multiple bands. Likewise, you can pick one or more modes. Let's say PSK 31 and RIDI, and click the filter button, and it'll show the PSK QSOs as well as RIDI or TTY QSOs. The custom SQL query filters are defined here. This is where I set up all my QSL related filters. There's 16 of them available: 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, and 13 through 16. And down here at the bottom is where you would modify. You would do a batch modify or a bulk modify, I guess, on any QSOs that are currently listed in the log page display, because they are filtered in one way or another, or they're pre-selected and you're using the select filter. So maybe you'd want to change the comments in all of these QSOs that are filtered. So you'd pick the comment field, type in whatever new value you want it to be, hit modify, and it'll set that value to the selected variable. And I'm going to put that back to where it was by default. And I believe that's it, folks. That's kind of a short run through of the sorting and filtering capabilities that are available within the DXKeeper logging database.